Hi guys, today I thought would be a good day to walk around the gardens and show you how everything is looking mid-September. This is actually a really good time to walk around your own gardens and take a look at everything because I noticed walking around mine, I don't have a lot of late season blooming perennials and annuals. So I need to make a note to work on that next year. Also, we had rain last night and it's still sprinkling just a little bit, but it's that slow soaking rain that kind of just got deep into the ground and watered everything. And we have overcast skies, so it's perfect to walk around and take a look at everything. I figured since we're already on the back patio, let's start here and we'll just work our way all the way around the front through the vegetable garden and end up right back here again. Starting things off, we've got the two big blue containers that are flanking the berry beds here. I've got them planted with plain the blue salvia and a sweet potato vine that I cannot remember the name of right off the top of my head. But I wanted to show you what these look like late in the season because when we initially planted these, they were itty bitty and they've put on so much growth, especially the sweet potato vine. Look at this. I mean, it's actually like working its way up to the top of the salvia. Isn't that a beautiful combination though? And I did this combination a couple years ago because it's so simple, but it's so bright. But this is what happens to plain the blue salvia over the course of the season or when we have like heavy rains or high winds. The branches are so big and the stems are so brittle that they tend to splay towards the middle. And sometimes they even just kind of bend over and crack off. This one over here, you can see it's kind of like there's a little chunk of it over here. It's still connected and it's still blooming, so I left it. But you know, these do get pretty brittle the bigger they get. But I love them. The pollinators love them. I think we've got a bumblebee over here. It's still early morning and it is sprinkling still a little, but it feels great out here. So now we can walk right through to the berry beds. We've got our two 2x6 raised beds with our blueberries, and I've got them planted with some wildflowers and basil. You can see I let the basil just kind of go all the way in bulbs and flower and seed because I wanted the pollinators to just have a big old buffet here. This one has just grown insane. Look at that. That looks like a shrub. This is a basil. This is one basil plant. Isn't that crazy? But it is kind of leaning over to one side, but the pollinators love it. And I love hearing the buzzing all morning and all day, so I just left it. We've got our berries over here. This one is kind of struggling a little bit. That's okay. We've got the other two big blue containers on each side of the beds. I got them planted late with some sunflowers, so they are slowly starting to form flower buds. So hopefully we'll get to see some color before the weather gets too cold. But this area is just coming along. We are going to have to do a little bit of rework with the beds because look how low the soil is. So I'm definitely going to have to come in here, pop them out and fill these beds back up with soil. But that's for another project. So now if I swing around, we've got the backyard over here. That's the swale area. This is our landing pad of gorilla carts, pallets of compost, and all of our containers and everything that we're just kind of hanging out, waiting for things. These are our Shasta daisies from a project that we did a little while ago, and look at them. They're hanging out doing their thing. They're looking really good. The Russian sage, not so much. But yeah, this is where everything just kind of hangs out and it's just a lot easier to water everything. But we've got quite a bit of stuff over here. And if you guys remember earlier this season, I told you I picked up a red obelisk beech and I wasn't sure where to put it. Well, now we've got two. So now if we come walking up the swale, we've got our rising sun redbud underplanted with our what is that? Pinkablu pulmonaria. And I love this because even though it's not blooming now, it blooms early spring. The leaf color on this is more than sufficient to add a lot of interest. Right in front, we've got some liriope, which is blooming. So we've got a little bit of color here, but I like this little area here. We've got our little hummingbird feeder tucked in, a little hosta over there, green arrow, weeping Alaskan cedar, vanilla spice summer sweet. So everything's just kind of coming along. Now we're entering into the butterfly garden. We were just in here transplanting a bunch of shrubs and perennials. And we just recently came in and popped out those two lemony lace elderberries. So it's looking a little bare right now, but to be expected because Mo's going to be doing a bunch of work on the swale and the grading. But we do have some late season color. We've got the little lime standard hydrangea, which has completely flopped over from all of the rain previously, but it's putting on its fall colors. You can see it's got that pinky blush and they're starting to brown out a little bit. Our Pugster blues are looking beautiful. They got that electric blue, which I absolutely love against like the creamy white and green of the little lime. So pretty. Right over here, we have our White Wands Veronica and our Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. Some of the Cat's Pajamas Nepeta is in its third flush. Some of them not so much, but the White Wands Veronica has been blooming its head off. And while it doesn't look like there's a lot, the pollinators love this. They are still out here every day just feeding on this plant. If you want to bring pollinators in, White Wands Veronica. Right behind that, we have a couple of Back to the Fuchsia that are pushing another set of blooms. And we even have a little bumblebee hanging out. But not too much for late season with these. They still look good. Carolina Sweetheart Redbud hanging out. This thing has a little bit of sunburn, which is typical first year planting. Next year when it breaks dormancy, it should leaf out and be beautiful. It'll acclimate to the full sun. All the way in the back, we've got a Vanilla Spice Summer Sweet that's just finishing its blooms. Right in front of that, we have an Autumn Joy Sedum that's just getting ready to open up and bloom. It is looking a little yellowy though, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Right over here, we have a Serendipity Allium that is just finishing blooming, and our Flavorette Paired Rose has been blooming off and on. It's in a little bit of a downturn right now. It's kind of just chilling out, but we do have a couple of blooms. Aren't they pretty? Our 9-bark, Coreopsis, Weeping Blue Spruce, everything is looking really healthy, and especially with our overcast skies and that fresh rainfall, everything just looks so clean and green and lush. I love this time, right after a rainfall. Now I got to show you guys the Jazz Hands Variegated Loropetalum. So initially when I planted this, I read up that the variegation only stays on the new growth, but this has been looking like this all season long. Absolutely beautiful. Our Rose of Sharon Standard is all loaded up with buds, but it's just kind of hanging out today. And usually this blooms like late morning, early afternoon, and by the evening, they all kind of just close up again. Our Atlas Rose has got a bunch of flowers on it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And then we swing back over here. We have our Obedient plant that has been off and on blooming. And the pollinators love this. And then we continue with our arborvitae hedge. And then right over here at the end, we have our Supertunia Vista bubblegum hanging basket, which I have not trimmed on this once. It gets the Proven Winners water-soluble fertilizer once a week, and it's in full sun. And look at that. This is just such an amazing plant. I cannot say enough good things about it. Real quick before we head to the front, I just wanted to show you our green velvet boxwood hedge. We recently came in and trimmed them all up and treated them for boxwood leaf miners systemically, and they're looking really good. Really happy with them. Slowly growing into a nice formal hedge. Really happy with this area. Okay, let's make our way through to the front. So right over here, we have one of our 2 front flower beds. We have it lined with our Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. That's all the way to the front porch. I actually thought about coming in here and cutting this back, but it already is pushing out another flush of new growth. So I was just gonna trim all this, but even these little tiny pieces, these little tiny flowers, the pollinators are still coming to them. So I just didn't have the heart to trim them off. Right back here, we've got the Pink Profusion Salvia, which is just finishing up, I want to say its 3rd flush of blooms. And right behind, we have the Bobo Hydrangea, looking beautiful, a little yellow in the center, but really happy with it. I really like this whole bed. It has just such a lush factor to it. It's full, you can barely see any mulch, which is what I was going for. Right over here, we've got the Red Hot Poker, or Nephophia. This is the hot and cold. This is such a beautiful color. Look at that. It's got that orange at the tip, and it just gradually fades to a yellow and then to a cream. Our Echinacea that we started from seed is really putting on some growth here. Look at that. We planted 3 of them. So this one over here is getting the least amount of light, but they're all looking really good. There's our dandelion weed. Our green velvet boxwoods are looking good, all except for the one that we lost, which I have yet to take out, and I'm okay with it. Until I find a replacement, I kind of like it. Not sure what happened to it, but it's just this nice coppery point right here. And then right back over here, oh, this is the Scentlandias. These are getting ready to put on their fall color. In fact, I see the middle one is already starting. See that? So in the fall, once the weather starts to cool, they change color from this beautiful green, and they just light up. Reds and orange and yellows. It literally looks like they're on fire. They're so beautiful in the fall. Look at that. Can you see that back there? Slowly putting on their color. The Play in the Blue Salvia that we tucked in behind our little blue spruce, that's gotten pretty big so far. I don't know if we're going to see blooms on it though, because we are cooling off. And we have a few more Echinacea that we popped in back there. Another Nephophia. And this area, I just love it. It's all mostly different shades and textures of greens with a little bit of like purples and pinks in here. But I don't really have any red other than the Scentlandias when they turn. And I kind of want to keep it that way because I kind of just like this, I don't want to say monochromatic look because there's so many different shades of green, but I like it. It's very calming. I love this little pathway. I think it looks so cute. And here we have our Supertunia Vista Bubblegum Saffron Finch Silverberry container with one of our Echinacea, which is looking pretty sad. But overall, I'm really happy with this container. I haven't trimmed on it at all. Just kind of let it do its thing. Looking a little bare right around there. But again, we're mid-September. The weather's cooling off. And once the weather starts to cool off, these start to peter out a little more. Our fall containers are looking so good. I just saw all of these mums at the store and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a jump on autumn color and autumn decorating because I just wanted to see it. I was tired of that hot summer look. Everything just kind of looked dry. But look at these. They're so pretty. Love all of these autumn colors. And even came out and brought in a couple little votive candle holders. Aren't they cute? Got another one right over here. A little matching set. Found them at Goodwill. But yeah, this area is looking really, really pretty. And pretty soon we're gonna come in with some cabbage and kale, pine cones and pumpkins, and just deck out the whole porch. I don't know about you guys, but I've been ready for some fall color since the beginning of August. So now that we're getting closer and closer to fall, I'm just getting that much more excited. Now let's make our way to the other side of the front porch. Before we head there, I just want to come down here and show you guys the two Rising Sun red buds. These are my favorite. Aren't they beautiful? They've just been in this kaleidoscope of color all season. And by kaleidoscope, this is what I mean. Look at that. We've got the tangerine, the yellow, the chartreuse, the light green, and then as you gradually get closer and closer towards the inside, it's just this deep green. But when you stand back, it's just so bright. And this one's doing the exact same thing, and I absolutely love it. Look at this. These are probably one of my favorite trees on our property. I mean, showstoppers. And these get so much attention from people walking by and our neighbors. Like, what is that? Rising Sun Redbud. So now, since we're at the bottom of our little bed, let me show you our Super Tunia Vista bubblegum experiment on the retaining wall. I did come out here last night and get some footage just before it rained, which will pop up on the screen real quick so you guys can take a look at it. It looks pretty much the same, but when it does rain, the flowers do tend to droop a little just from the weight of the water. But you remember when we cut these back like a month ago or so? We cut them back hard. And I told you guys, just wait. Just wait. They will rebound. They actually perform better with a little bit of a haircut. And look at these. Just full all over again. Now, they didn't do exactly what I was hoping. Initially, I was hoping for them to just spill over and literally hit the ground. But I think it's not the plant's fault. It's the container. They typically perform a lot better and they get more mounded when they're in a bigger container that's round. So they have a little bit more support around the trunk, because just like the salvia, these get brittle. And if they hang and droop too much, they tend to snap. And because these are right in front, they're exposed to the wind and the rain. So yeah, they tend to get a little beaten up, but I think all in all, they're holding their own. Right over here along our front bed, our little sidewalk bed, this whole area is going to need to be redone. It just looks, I don't know, it's just a little too chaotic for me. The verbena, which the pollinators love, is massive. And I like that it's spilling out onto the sidewalk, but it's just kind of completely taken over. The sedum never really picked up like I thought it would. This one's kind of splitting. The only thing that I'm actually really enjoying is the plumbago. And this blooms these true blue flowers late spring all the way through till the frost. But the one other thing I like about this, they change into these red color for fall. And you can see they're already starting to do it. Just like the Scentlandias, this whole shrub, or this whole plant will just be red. So I think what I'm gonna do later is pull all of these and just kind of do a big drift of the plumbago. God, I'm losing my losing my train of thought here. And then I've got some ajuga that I might put right in front of it too that blooms blue as well. But I'll wait until all the pollinators are done in this area because they're really enjoying it. Our weeping green arrow Alaskan cedar. I love this. And it's getting big. It's not putting on a lot of upward growth right away. It's getting wide. Look at these branches. I love that. Just that swaying. Oh, it's so pretty. Our cotoneasters back here. These have really filled out. They're starting to creep, which is exactly what I wanted them to do. Eventually they'll touch, make their way over to the rock. And in the fall, these produce bright red berries. It's gonna be so pretty. And then our hydrangea rescue from earlier this year. Put on a bunch of growth. We have it out here temporarily to acclimate to full sun. And then we'll be moving it out. And then if we come over here, we have our other front flower bed. Now this has the limelight hydrangeas that we rescued a couple years ago. But you can see in late July with all of our heavy rains, they collapsed. The weight of the blooms completely soaked in water just made them kind of just collapse. I've got 3 plants here, and while I do enjoy them, they are a little late in the bloom department, so I was contemplating popping them out and putting another variety that blooms a little quicker, but you just can't beat the size and color of the limelight hydrangeas. They're just beautiful. And I keep forgetting that we have a dwarf Alberta spruce tucked in there. It's just getting swallowed up by the hydrangeas. Right in front, we've got the Pugster Pinker Buddleias, which are just a non-stop bloomer. And these are great for late season blooming too. You can see they're still blooming their heads off. These are so beautiful and fragrant. But we are going to be rehoming these. I have friends coming to pick these up because I do want to put in a little stepping stone walkway right here that kind of just shortcuts to this side of the gate. So these are right in the direct line of where the pathway is going to come in. So these are going to be rehomed, and it's probably better because they're not getting the amount of sun that they should be getting, because these blooms typically are like 8 to 10 inches long, and right now they're only like 3 to 4 inches. And I have a feeling the crepe myrtle is just shading this whole area out, which I love the multi-trunk structure. I don't like the weak branches that seem to be just drooping every time it rains. But it's a pretty tree. It's a messy tree though too. So yeah, the Buddleia will be rehomed, and it will unearth the Jazz Hands Pink Loropetalum, which is huge. Oh, we've got a broken branch. No. But look at this, you guys. I call this an ever red. It's actually an evergreen, but the more sun it gets, the more burgundy red the leaves stay. But this is just a beautiful, beautiful shrub. Comes out in early spring with these beautiful fuchsia pink blooms, which pretty much resemble like witch hazel blooms, but the foliage is what I love about this. You can see more down here in the shade, how green it is. And then as you come back into the sun, look at that. Look at that color, and this is its fall color starting. But I do love the fact that this is evergreen. It doesn't lose its leaves. It's just a nice, nice shrub for winter interest. Absolutely, highly recommend it. And I'm going to be so thrilled that we're going to be able to see the whole thing, because it's getting swallowed up by the hydrangeas back there. And these Pugster Pinkers, they're supposed to get about 2 feet tall and wide. Clearly, they're about 3.5 feet tall, 3 feet wide. They're huge. And then right over here, we have our Miss Violet butterfly bush. I love this. Such beautiful, deep purple blooms. And you don't need to do anything to this. I cut it back by a third every year, just clean it out a little bit. And this is what it does. Hardly any fertilizer. It doesn't really require tons of water. You don't have to deadhead it. You can leave these on here, it doesn't matter. Or if you want, you can pop them off. But I kind of like it. I kind of like the two-tone color of the blooms. Beautiful. So now let's head on into the vegetable garden. We'll run through the vegetable garden pretty quickly here. I've shown this in numerous videos recently because we've been doing so much harvesting, but it's just such an abundant and full space. I absolutely love it. So walking through, I just love how full this whole area is, especially with the flowers over here, just kind of creating that cozy little walkway that's just kind of peering through right there. But you can see right over here, we have our cucumbers, our bell peppers. I'm really excited about our sunflowers, you guys. They have bloomed, they are blooming and opening up. That one's facing the wall, lovely. But they're so pretty and cheerful. And the pollinators absolutely love them. Right back here along the side of the house, we have our trellising system of tomatoes. And if I get back in here, look at that. They are just loaded. These are the super sauce. Oh, so excited. We have our cantaloupe over here, which has got quite a few melons on it. And this one's starting to turn, so I'm really excited about that. Our squash and zucchini bed is just packed full of vegetables. Look at that. And I've got these in tomato cages, so they've been more upright. And I think that really is helping with airflow. They are starting to show some signs of powdery mildew, but to be expected this late in the season. This side over here along the fence, we have cosmos, zinnias, tomatoes, pole beans, and I love this. Just how the flowers are just creeping right into the walkway, just making it just snug. Love that. And these are beautiful. Look at that. And these pole beans have just been going crazy, you guys. Every harvesting video, we're harvesting fistfuls of pole beans. Our pickling cucumbers are going crazy. Still don't have enough for a full batch, but we've got quite a few on here. More tomatoes. Our jade bush beans. We've been slowly harvesting on these, and you can see we've got more forming up. More zinnias. Our fig tree that we have been training into a standard, looking really well. It hasn't really suckered too much, but it has put on a little bit of fruit, which I'm totally surprised about. We have our mountain mint over here, which I need to harvest, along with my mom's mint, which this plant again is like 30, 40 years old. I think it's sweet mint, but I'm not 100% sure, but it just makes the best tea. Taste of Heaven blackberry bush that we just potted up a little over a month ago. Really putting on some growth. And then right over here we have our tomato bed. Got some Harvest Moons ripening and a few of the Sunrise Bumblebee cherry tomatoes. These look like miniature pineapple tomatoes, but they're so sweet. And then right over here we have our pepper bed, which we just came in and harvested all the jalapenos. And as you can see, they're starting to put on more growth. We've got flowering occurring. And check this out. Look at that. They're already starting to form more peppers. These things are just non-stop. And then right in the center here with those little speckles of red, these are the Armageddon peppers. These will knock your socks off. And then right over here behind the pepper bed, we have our green stalk vertical garden filled with our Seascape strawberries. And then right over here, we have our first tray of propagating plants. And you can see they are doing beautifully. They're putting on size. Right back here is our second propagation attempt. Now these were disconnected from the mother plant and potted up right away. So you can see they're not being supplied nutrients by the mother plant. They're left to fend for themselves, and they completely wilted down, but they are starting to push some new growth. So I'll keep you guys posted on how they're doing, but look at all of these free plants. Absolutely love it. And then we end up right over here with our early fall crop seedlings that have just exploded. Look at these, you guys. We've got, well, we have our summer crop here. We have cantaloupe that I wanted to try in the ground, but it kind of took them forever to get going. But I'm still gonna put some in the ground just to see. But we have cauliflower, cabbage, spinach, bib lettuce, romaine lettuce, our fig tree cutting that we propagated, and then some more romaine lettuce and spinach. Absolutely loving this. These are getting ready to get into our beds. Once we clear out all of our summer crops, our fall crops have got a head start. And we have an airplane flying overhead. But really happy that we got a jump start on these. And then right over here in the corner, we have our Meyer lemon tree. And this is just doing really well. Look at all of the fruit on here. And right over here, they're starting to ripen. How exciting is that? Now we are slowly going to be preparing these to bring indoors because these don't last in our area. We have to bring them in for the winter. So we'll do that together, and I'll explain to you guys what I'm going to do. And then lastly, I want to show you our thornless key lime tree. We have this one on the opposite corner of where the Meyer lemon tree is on our patio, and this one is loaded up as well. Look at this. Look at all of these limes. This one looks like it's starting to ripen, but there's just so much fruit on this. I mean, look at all of these little clusters. I'm not really sure what this one's doing, but it's just a beautiful tree. And again, like the lemon tree, we're gonna have to prep this and get it ready to be brought inside for the winter. But I'm really happy with it. So far, I haven't noticed any pests on either one of our citrus trees. Really happy. It's just been loving it out here. And from where we started, here is a panoramic view of the backyard. I'm really happy with how this space is coming together. Oh, I forgot to show you guys our other rising sun redbud back here. So this one we have staked right over here because it's wanting to go this way. So we have it staked and straightened up, although I don't know how well that's going to do because it really is trying to go towards the left. But when you come around on this side, it looks more like it's leaning this way and wanting to go to the right. So it's kind of like one of those weird things where the trunk was weird and the branching is a little off. So it's really hard to kind of pinpoint and get it straight all the way around. But it's just another beautiful tree. And here's the view standing back right along the butterfly garden. You can see the walkway leading back to the patio area, the berry beds, our back area over here, and right into the butterfly garden, the redbud, our crabapple, sweet sugar time crabapple. And there we are, full circle. And you guys, that is it for our little walk around the property today. Just wanted to get out here mid-September, show you how everything is looking. The lighting is perfect. Again, it's starting to sprinkle. We're under overcast skies, so everything is just looking really extra lush and green. And it's just the magic of rainwater. I don't know what's in it, but it just makes every plant so happy. And again, this was a good time for me to get out here, and while I'm explaining and showing you guys everything, I can see little areas where I need to tuck in some more late season color. Like I definitely need some Rudbeckia, Black-Eyed Susans. Those bloom their heads off all the way until frost, and I don't believe I don't have any. Isn't that insane? But yeah, again, this is just such a great time. It's such a great time to come out here and just look at everything, see how everything is doing, and just make mental notes of what you want to add and little pockets that you need to work on or need a little bit of attention. And that way we can think about everything over the course of the winter, and then next season kick it right back up again. And you guys, that is it for our video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.